Hi, and welcome to Soul Activation Podcast, a world-class broadcast of spiritual insight and inspiration with me, Suzanne Alexandria. In this series, we dive deep into the magical sea of you, to that place in you that's ready to activate, but might not even know what that means. Do you crave to be more spiritually connected? Intriguing, fun, and full of magic, we'll laugh and cry and talk about how crazy this life is, offering healing and insights to lean into. This show broadcasts from pure divine love. Are you ready to light your eternal flame, to spark some magic? Let's talk transformation. Hello, dear friends, and welcome once again to Soul Activation Podcast with me, Suzanne Alexandria, where we help you ignite your eternal light. Do you really know what that is, your eternal light? Well, if you stay tuned on today's show, towards the end, I'm going to lead you through a blessed ceremonial kind of anointing and lighting of your eternal light. And mind you, it's already on, but this is about awakening it. This is about letting it shine. This is about being who you are from the inside out. It's your soul light. It's your vibration. And it's that big, huge diamond in the center of your own blessed heart. So I think you'll want to stay tuned for that blessing from our divine feminine ascended masters who are with me today and always, and who are going to join around you for our attunement. I am Suzanne Alexandria. I am a transformation coach and a cosmic energy aligner, and I'm an energy healer through the order of the Ascended Master Mary Magdalene, and also with Goddess Isis. So if you know either of those divine feminine beings, they are two of my primary guides. I help others to heal through the Akashic records, through energy attunements, and I do powerful individual and group healings and readings and activations. I also teach Reiki and the fundamentals of energy. And for me, the basis of all of this is empowerment, because our ascended masters and guides, the holy order of the divine that works with us, has helped me to become empowered in this, just as we also assist others. So my whole theme is freedom, liberty, and empowerment. So do you have aspects of your life that you want to reclaim? Do you find yourself in need or calling something new into your realm? Or do you want to say yes to a new chapter in your life? If so, we should talk. You can find me at SuzanneAlexandria.com, where through my system, you can set up a free 15-minute discovery call and also join my email list. I would be happy to talk to you to discuss how we might work together, and so you know whether my work is what you're looking for, whether my energy is what you're looking for. If you're called to be the healer or the light worker that you came here to be, and I would love to talk to you about my Wings of Isis Soul Activation Academy as well. Follow me at Wings of Isis on Instagram. Fundamentally, I help people reset, reboot, reconnect, and restore the passion and love that's been waiting for you since time immemorial. And in Soul Activation Podcast, we're all about connecting through stories and energy and through thoughts about what's possible. Do you feel the call for some miracles and magic, some newness? Then today is for you, because again, at the end of this, we're going to bring in a powerful, divine, feminine, holy blessing to your energy field. Today, I'm personally taking you on a journey to my understanding of what the divine feminine is. What is it? Who is it? Is it a thing? Is it a way? Is it a vibration? Is it a knowing? Well, it's all those things. It's an experience. And frankly, I can't even begin to describe all that it is to me through my being, because I'm just like you, learning to allow it to awaken in me and through me and for me in magical ways. And it is here for you too. It is in you. It is of you. You are the divine feminine. Even whether you're a man or a woman or they or however you identify, you are the divine incarnate. You're the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And if you're listening to this, you probably know you're awakening to the deepest truths and memories of this now. So I'm going to tell you my story. And to me, it's a beautiful story about the love that sustains us through the storms of life on this crazy planet, because this is what I know. It's about my journey. You see, I've had a miraculous life in many, many ways. I have 2 beautiful children whom I adore. I've been married. I've traveled a lot. I was a Peace Corps volunteer. I was a corporate senior director in a Washington, D.C. based firm. I am like you in many ways. I also turned on my healer abilities through all of that. And I've also experienced a lot of trauma, partly because of my nature and partly because of my circumstances. Yes, I know that deeply. I've been taken hostage many times by traumatic circumstances. I've let it get the best of me. I've come through it. I've been held through it. And that is my main point. All the time I've been held by divine love through some of the deepest despairing moments we can imagine. And I mean literally, dysfunctional relationships, other people in my life, severe childhood trauma. I've had breast cancer. And if that's not a wake-up call, I don't know what is. And when I dig down really, really deeply, I see that in between the actual events, those traumatic occurrences, those experiences, I have been shown time and time again that my own thoughts in the aftermath and the severity of my own thoughts and beliefs and programs are actually far worse than the traumatic occurrences. Not to diminish those by any means, but I'm pretty sure you can imagine what I mean. I've had to come to realize that my thoughts are not my reality. And my reality can change. And that's what I am all about. I'm all about saying and telling you, telling others, your reality can change. You are that powerful. And like all the time, mine changes all the time because I make it change. I create the change. I create the change that I want to be. I heal, I transform, and I teach others to do this. I have been empowered to make these changes. And I've learned that my thoughts are just my thoughts. But what happens when we endure something traumatic is that we get stuck. And what I understand in a framework of energy. There are lots of lenses through which people and science looks at this. Mine is through the lens of energy and energy healing. And what I see and know is that thoughts become real energy. And when a thought gets repeated over and over and over again, and it doesn't get cleared away, and it doesn't get looked at or analyzed or healed or transmuted, it becomes a thing. And soon enough, that thing takes up space. And that thing can take up space in the mind, but it can take up space in the heart too. And it can take up space in the body, like in the spleen and the liver and the gut. It can be the cause of a lot of our physical dysfunction and disease. It can literally block our organs because that energy that started with a thought becomes who we are by us letting it live in there. I hope this is making sense, and I'm quite sure you can relate. And today is going to be a bit participatory. So again, we're going to do a beautiful cleansing, healing ritual, energy healing, we'll just call it, with our divine feminine ascended masters. So I'd like to invite you to start to think about something that might be going on in your own consciousness and in your own body that started as a thought but has become a block? What is something that might hold you a little bit hostage or a lot hostage? Maybe a thought like, oh, I could never do XYZ, or I can't ever seem to figure this person or this thing out, or I'm really not liked. All of those kinds of limiting beliefs started as thoughts and they became energy. And I know you've had many of those, we all do, but then the powerful thing is that energy can clear. Energy moves. Emotions are energy in motion. And frankly, what I see, what I believe, what I know now is that no matter the life circumstances we've had, be they horrific or somewhat less, they're traumatic. But the thoughts about them, the memories about them, the stories we build can actually be the number one monster in our closet. Because even if you were to sustain, say, the most vile attack or accident and survive, the truth is it would be over, right? It does heal. The body heals. But what lingers are the caustic thoughts that keep us hostage. Thoughts that you'll never be safe again. Thoughts that the world is a terrible place. Thoughts that I'm in danger. Thoughts that keep you looking back, trying to protect yourself from something that's no longer there. But it's there because it hasn't been looked at and it hasn't been cleared and it hasn't been healed. One of the most persistent thoughts that I see and I've worked through with myself and I see in my clients is the thought or belief that nobody will ever really love me. And that leads to crazy things like, why not just end up with this person who might be good enough but doesn't really love me, but I'll make do. Even if he's not the right person or even if she's really not kind to me. Those kinds of thoughts hinder so many of us. And it is the work and the action and the love of the divine that helps us to peel away the layers and the thoughts and the vibrations and the karma to get to the truth. That God is a loving God, that the divine loves us, and that through loving ourselves and giving us ourselves the gifts of healing and of spirit and connection, then we are whole. I know this got deep very, very quickly, but I promise you that through this we'll be brought to so much light. You'll probably want to grab a pair of sunglasses because that's what I've been learning to do in my life. Live my life and be free of caustic thoughts that, dare I say, even sparked the reality of breast cancer in me once upon a time. Yes, it was circumstances, it was energy, it might have even been toxins, but I do know that sometimes these kinds of caustic traumas and thoughts create something so severe as cancer. We all have our own cancer stories, and cancer can be caused by myriad things. But for me, I do know that in my life, it was this toxicity that created such dysfunction in my body and in my energy. And that's what I'm here to talk about. It's about stuck emotions. It's about how toxic thoughts, toxic environments, dysfunction in relationships can lead to something so severe. And the only way that I could find my way truly out of the darkness of breast cancer and of childhood trauma and of a traumatic dysfunctional marriage that just didn't work was through the path of divine love and the divine feminine very specifically, through the path of connecting with spirit, however you want to call it, with God, the divine mother, father, but for me more so the Divine Mother, because I realized that had been completely missing. I didn't even know there was a feminine aspect of all of this most of my life, because I was raised in a church that didn't really bring that in so much. And I'm not blaming, it's just that was part of my reality. So I came to this fundamental need and desire to resurrect the feminine presence in me and around me and in my world, because I had grown up without that. Divine light and divine love has become an indelible and growing presence of compassion and love and grace. And it is what has led me to the mountaintop over and over and over again. I'm not saying I live at the mountaintop. I'm not there 24/7, but I have seen it and I experience it more and more and more deeply. And I'm so blessed to talk about it. So my story has many beginnings and many endings, but the long and short of it is most recently through this whole interesting conundrum of quarantine 2020 and beyond. For me, that's not so much been about COVID-19. And I know there's many of us saying that now, looking back and saying, yeah, the gift of it or the mystery of it. It's been about a lot more. That quarantine experience and what it led me to was actually a complete unshackling of myself from my very, very core, inside my being, inside my body, inside my Akashic records. Last year, January 2020 began like lots of us, full of optimism and hope, because I was in the process of coming through the rougher times of processing divorce and moving on. And I say that with blessing of that marriage that was. I'm grateful for the gifts of it. And I'm grateful that it came to such a peaceful conclusion. So back then, all the wheels were in motion and I was seeing quite a bright future. And I still do, but I got sideswiped. And then, how many of you have ever had that? You're going along your way thinking you're in a whole new place. And then, whoops, oh, there's something else. Oh my goodness, I got to look at that. So without going into the details, as I was working with therapists, with healers, with the divine, with my own heart, I began to have memories and thoughts come into my brain and my fields that really surprised me. And they were childhood memories that I had packed away so deeply, I couldn't even believe it. And I mean, I speak of it in light terms today because this is not the time to go into it deeply, but I began to see things and remember things that I didn't know were there. And I began to say, wait, am I making this up? And I began to know I was not making it up. And I began to feel deeply. And one thing I want to share is that when we allow ourselves to be held by the divine and to look at ourselves and look at our lives and our memories, it's so gentle, but it cuts to the core because the divine is serious about us being real, about us being ourselves, and about us shining. And if there's something keeping that light from shining fully to experience joy, to be happy, to be who you want to be, the divine is going to help you cut through that so you are free. And that is just what happened. I would be sitting with others, with my trusted confidants, with my therapists, and I would see and experience and remember, and I would begin to heal. And I say this because feelings are such a part of this. And our feelings, when coupled with these memories and thoughts, feelings don't lie. They come from the deepest realm of us. They are true. They are real. and they tell us and show us a way that we might not have ever known. So always, always trust your feelings and use that as one of your biggest marks of what is real, what's true. I began to surface feelings that I won't go into, but they were very, very unpleasant. And I had to share them. And only did it begin to surface at a time in my life when I had the time through quarantine, when I had the energy, when I had the resources, when I had friends, confidants, and the support of therapists and healers. So if you want to talk about being held by the divine, that is the context through which my story culminates, that I could do this deep dive during a time when I was fully, fully, fully supported. And that's how I've come into what I am experiencing as true freedom. So with that, I'm still sometimes working on that. I'm still liberating my body, my mind, my thoughts of severe toxic trauma energy. It had been stored away in a vast subconscious vault. And let me just share that when that process began, I saw that darkness as the vast underbelly of this gigantic iceberg. I was the tip of it, living my life, but under my subconscious realm, in memories, in thoughts, was the holding of these feelings and memories of toxicity and ancestry and shame and guilt and what had actually happened. It created a lot of self-hatred, frankly, enough to fill the biggest underbelly of an iceberg. So suffice it to say that became my healing project. Because that trauma, those memories, those thoughts have to get out. They have to unleash. They have to be known. It doesn't have to be traumatic necessarily, but we have to be willing to experience that and let it lift away. And I have learned what is probably one of the newest arrays of ways to work through this trauma. I was literally told that this kind of holding is what can lead a person into a mental institution because it can be so much to deal with. Often it's taken women and men like me, say 20 years of therapy and work to come clear and live the lives they want to live. And that could have been me. And frankly, my last 20 years have been a mix of blessings and chaos too, just like all of us. But I was gifted with the presence to walk with the divine right by my side, holding me, holding my heart through the flames of fear and pain and doubt. And in so doing, I truly was set free. I am free. And my freedom is a co-creation of my own determination, my own luck, my own wit, my own willingness to go there, and of being held by my friends, by those who I work with, and of being held by the most high love there is. Call it Spirit, the Mother, Father, God, the creator of all life. And then the angelic beings that work to serve her highest majesty. And they work with you as well. And I know now with every clear, vibrant cell in my body, I know this to be true. And so it is. So friends, that's a little bit of my story. We are going to take a short break. And when we return, I'm going to introduce you to some of my closest divine counterparts, divine feminine ascended masters who mentored me through this moment to moment to moment. And then I'm going to offer with them towards the end an energetic blessing through them, with them. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Can't get enough of Eye of Soul Radio? Join Psychic Medium Jamie every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio. Take a deeper look at the raw side of spirit. Nothing is off limits. Connect with lost loved ones and explore these vulnerable subjects with the compassionate guidance of Psychic Medium Jamie. You are not alone. Eye of Soul, Thursdays at 5 p.m. Pacific, only on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
I'm a big fan of yours, and of y'all's wisdom has been very valuable to me. I've been curious, kind of stuck and not sure which direction to go, and having the motivation, to do that as well. So thank you very much. It's a beautiful message. Thank you very much.
It is a beautiful
message.
It's
Very comforting and a great reminder.
Are you feeling the complexity of life? Do you feel that urge to step into something greater? Tune in to Nailed It Radio. Find your simplicity within your complexity with me, life coach Carrie Nail. Tune in each month on TransformationTalkRadio.com to discover what it means to use your full power to be the best version of yourself. Imagine stepping into the energy of saying yes to yourself and knowing you nailed it. For more information about me, visit CarrieNail.com.
What we've been taught and told is not all there is. Life is all about energy, and the energy you feel is real. Tune into the energy paradigm each month on TransformationTalkRadio.com with Dr. Vic. The energy paradigm is an eye-opening, mind-shifting, transformative, and earth-shattering way to live, work, and do business that will enable you to unlock your magic every day. Visit TheEnergyParadigm.com.
TheAngelLady.net. 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 1-800-323-1790. 1-800-323-1790. Sue Storm. TheAngelLady.net.
Get empowered. Transformation Talk Radio.
Welcome back, friends. This podcast is about my journey, my personal journey with the divine, from darkness to light, or rather how I've always been held in the light, even when I thought I was not, and when I thought all hope was lost, because believe me, there have been many, many dark nights of that. I'm sure you can relate. But I'm not dwelling there, and I don't dwell there. I dwell in the light because that's where I know there is truth. And it's also where the fairies are and the rainbows and unicorns. So first, it goes without saying that as humans, we absolutely must have each other. We do not do this work alone. That is why I work with others in groups and one-on-one settings, because to have a witness for this kind of pain transformation is essential, and that is how it works. We hold each other. We witness each other. We are the mirrors of each other. And we light the way for each other in ways that nothing else can. And my biggest wish upon the stars is that you and the world and individuals do light upon the individuals who are this for you in your life, that you have that, and that you create that, and you create a framework of community. And I know that's not easy for us, all of us in this time of COVID. Community is one of the serious things that so many people are needing and seeking. And that's why I do create community through my academy with Wings of Isis, through my programs, but also just wish that the intention is out there for you to have that and to be that. We are the mirrors of the divine for each other. And as we're emerging, we can all connect. And I do foresee and intend and pray that we're connecting in joyful ways, deeper and deeper, ways we didn't even dream possible before this time of quarantine. So yes, I am blessed to have had and keep having my human team here. And I know that you know who you are. So to you, if you get a little tingle in your heart or your crown while you're listening to this, you'll know it's me saying thank you. Because again, I haven't walked alone and you don't either. And to all of you listeners, I pray a blessing of grace and knowledge and sharing, that you know you're held. Think about the humans who hold you. Think about the angels who hold you. I needed witnesses in order to leave behind the fray of that trauma and the misery that I was holding in that iceberg. It had to be witnessed. I needed to be able to speak the unspeakable, for it to be cleared, for it to come out to light. I needed to have it heard so it could vanish from my thoughts and my body and my cells and my memories. And I am so grateful to those of you who bore my pain and didn't take it in, but who witnessed it with love and compassion unconditional. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the center of my crystalline heart. Bearing witness to another person's pain and success and joy is one of the biggest gifts in the universe. So, friends, listeners, readers, allow it. Go out and find that connection, and find it in the human and in the divine. For we're the ones that have to make it happen. And that's my biggest message. We have to allow that in. We get to ask for it. We seek it. We get to be blessed by it. Whether it's from a friend or a partner, a beloved, or a coach, or a minister, or a coworker. That is what we do for each other. And that is what I do as a healer and a coach. So I say that just as a side note or an asterisk, that the witnessing of ourselves and our lives, our pain, our trauma, but also our success, to me, that's what we're here for. We're here to share it. We're here to spark the infinite. We're here to spark healing, clarity, activation. And we do that together. But there's so much more to this story, because as I healed, I came into knowing that my true depth is so much more than these memories and this body. It's so much more. And that's why I call this podcast Soul Activation Podcast, Ignite Your Eternal Light, because each of you has a light in you that shines so brightly and that's what the world wants to see. It's the fuel of your soul. It's your spark. And it shines from above on you too. Often it can't be seen or heard, but surely you can feel it. And the light that is above and around us is what I'm going to bring in a little bit in our little energy attunement, or our big attunement, I should say. The light of the divine. So you have a light. I like to think of it like you're a candle. Your heart light is like a pilot light. And your solar plexus is a big part of this too, and your gut instinct. It's all part of your intuition system. It's part of your soul energy framework. Now, I know you've experienced this in myriad ways. That's the thing that gives you goosebumps when you hear a truth. It's the thing that lights you up when you have a new idea. That's what sparks you. It's what keeps you going. But my offering to you is to begin a new way to experience this in co-creation with Spirit, with the Divine Mother, Father, and with the angelic realm, who's here to help us all fuel this light. Our friends, our Divine Ascended Masters, our Spirit guides, want us to make this light ours and let it light our own paths. Just as they light our paths, we light our own, and we light the paths for each other. So take that in for a moment. The love of the divine is showing you who you also are. And especially in these times, the Divine Mother wants to be known. Many of us grew up with a solid foundation of the Father God. I did in my upbringing. But the Divine Mother comes through today in this podcast and in our healing as the essence of life. The Divine Mother, the Shekinah, her, the goddess, she's so real and she wants you to know her. Mother Earth is her. You are her, whether you're a man or a woman or they. So are you willing to allow her to show you a new way? She brings the feminine power of the divine order of God in a way that few in this life have truly known, mostly because we haven't been aware of her. I know from my own experiences that I know of many cultures, millennia ago it seems, who worshipped the Divine Mother, the Divine Feminine, and revered her. I've been to Mayan temples where the artistry shows, a burgeoning pregnant life force, the Divine Mother giving birth to all. So I've seen that and I've experienced that, but I'm beginning to take that in as the force, one of the many forces that also holds me and holds us. And then I've become aware that surely it takes the feminine to birth the universe as well as the masculine, because like on this earth plane, almost everything is created from both the spark of masculine and feminine, the divine union. So why wouldn't that be the case? But I've been kind of like, I forgot that for a while, and you might have too. And every single human is masculine and feminine. You have two aspects that merge and unite, and a lot of us are in this process of beautifully merging in our hearts. And again, I'm not just speaking to women or for women, not at all. I work with lots of men who are igniting both forces within them too, and they hold the powerful vibrations for the earth as well, and I honor that. We need the sacred masculine in balance and harmony, just as the sacred feminine, and we're doing that together. So I have found that the love of the mother comes in many, many, many forms. It comes in my confidants and my friends. It comes through myself as a mother, as a friend. It comes through my mother, my aunties. And it comes through the gifts of the sacred divine feminine order, the ascended masters, the angels that surround us. And I've always worked with these ascended masters since I came into this presence, especially with Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene, who always works with Jesus. I work with Queen Isis. I work with Kuan Yin, the goddess of compassion. And I work with the Norse goddess Freya, to name a few. Those have been my primary holders. And if you're listening to this, they might be yours, or you might wish to get to know them. There are so many more, and my own grandmother is among them in her own way, in spirit now. They are, to me, the strength and perseverance and the divine hand that has walked me through the flames I've talked about, sometimes the flames of hell, until I could reach the other side. They have held me, they have inspired me, they have helped me heal. And now they walk with me in fun, in frivolity, in light, in the divine light of all things. And I am so, so grateful. So this is as much a sharing of gratitude to them as a sharing of how we can learn to incorporate them into our healing paths, into our busy lives, into our daily structure, to bring in goodness and blessings from morning till night. Not only to make things bearable, but to make things beautiful and sacred and holy right now. Now that's my path. Finding the connection and co-creating joy and abundance and life in a whole new way. So it's a partnership that transcends all life experiences into being like the way we can operate. So if you're seeking an upgrade to your operating system, as I like to call it, that's your energy system. If you're seeking a desire to allow these beings and the Divine Mother, for that's kind of how I see them, into your heart, then you'll want to stay tuned as we set the pace for a beautiful energy transmission, a meditation, a healing, where I'll guide you into a more clear context of who these divine feminine ascended masters are and how you might experience them. So stay tuned. We're going to take one more short break, and then we will go into a beautiful energy transmission. So I'll be right back.
Get empowered on transformationtalkradio.com.
What we've been taught and told is not all there is. Life is all about energy, and the energy you feel is real. Tune into the energy paradigm each month on transformationtalkradio.com with Dr. Vic. The energy paradigm is an eye-opening, mind-shifting, transformative, and earth-shattering way to live, work, and do business that will enable you to unlock your magic every day. Visit theenergyparadigm.com.
How do you feel? Just okay? Well, how about you tune in and get ready to be more with the Healing Hour with me, Doc Martin, every third Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. I'm ready for your questions, and I can't wait to help you find the answers. Every month, we'll have a new live call-in show with innovative topics and a powerful hour of healing. To learn more about me, visit DrSharonMartin.com. See you there. I'm going to be here. You won't want to miss it.
Conscious Confidence Radio, a timeless wisdom with Sarah Main. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio and join Sarah on an adventurous journey to the deeper level of meaning to move beyond today's world of constant change, confusion, and uncertainty beyond the shadow of fear. This hit show explores key concepts such as confidence, values, and attitude in a dynamic way. To learn more about Sarah and her work, visit sarahmain.com.
Are you ready to shift your current beliefs about death? From debilitating pain and loss? Follow Angie Corbett Kuiper as she shares that through choice, present moment awareness, and keeping an open mind. Anything is possible, even in death. Tune in to Beyond Proof Radio with Angie, redefining death and loss, every first Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. For more, visit BeyondProof.com.
We remember a time when you could simply form a thought and it would manifest. The harmony was forgotten, but it is returning now. The Power of Inspiration and Awakening Radio with Julia Griffin on TransformationTalkRadio.com each second and fourth Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific. We'll take you on adventures through the heart and spirit, exploring who we once were. This intuitive healer studied under the guidance of wolves, learning from their wisdom to master a higher frequency for a new state of mind. Visit OneTrueSelf.com.
Hi, friends, and welcome back. As promised, this last part of this podcast today is a transmission with the Divine Feminine Holy Ascended Order of Ascended Masters with whom I primarily work. So we wanted to give you a little taste of the frequency and the healing light and the love and the support that comes through when people work with me in my Wings of Isis Soul Academy. So it is with my greatest gratitude that I extend this attunement, this energetic vibration change up, shall we say, to you, to anyone who would like to receive this from and through the Divine Feminine. So I invite you to rub your hands together if you're sitting quietly somewhere. If you're driving, you might want to do this later, or just listen and receive. And close your eyes to tune in to that holy place within you where your eternal flame resides. It's in your heart and it's in your belly. Imagine a beautiful golden candle from your solar plexus, anchored in your solar plexus and shining out through your sacred heart, kind of like a lighthouse. That is the place of your holy soul self, your holy eternal light. And from that place, we'll begin to receive. So feel into and imagine that you're surrounded by pure gold. This is the gold of the divine. It's your light, and it is the holy light of the Ascended Masters. So feel into a golden bubble that is always around you, but when you bring your awareness to it, it lights up. So your candle, your heart light, lights up the gold bubble of your auric field all around you. And it starts to create space for you to breathe more easily, to breathe more deeply, and to call in your beautiful sacred spirit. O Holy Mother of all things, guide us to ourselves, guide us to the truth of who we are. Amen. And now imagine yourself sitting in lotus position in your heart. Imagine you're sitting on a beautiful pink lotus blossom of 1,000 petals. And you are right in the center of this lotus. This is you. It's your true self. And you are seated on the lotus throne in your heart center. And the Holy Mother extends the deepest blessing to you in your heart center. She extends a blessing for you to awaken your entire chakra system and your energy field to receive her anointing and her love. And as an emissary of divine feminine Christ consciousness, Kuan Yin, the Blessed Mother of Compassion, comes forth into your imagination and into your field and into your heart space. And Kuan Yin is often holding a vase which is full of the anointing oils of compassion. And you may see that in shape, in color. And Kuan Yin takes her right hand and she pours drops of compassion onto her right middle finger, and she takes that anointing oil and blesses your sacral chakra right above your belly button to ignite your eternal light just a little more. And then she places her finger with oil on your third eyebrow center. and also on your crown and on your throat and right in your sacred heart and in each palm. She bestows the blessing of compassion for yourself and for all beings through all time space. And she holds the vibration of compassion for you as your own ascended master, as your own beautiful beloved. And she offers you to see yourself held in the arms of the divine, of divine love, of the Holy Mother. So allow yourself to feel into that. Thank you, Kuan Yin. And Kuan Yin steps back and allows the presence of a processional of the other divine feminine ascended masters with us today. The next being Mother Mary. She of 1,000 roses. And Mother Mary brings a white rose and offers that to be placed right in your heart center as you sit on your lotus mantle. You're invited to take in a pure, pristine white rose of Christ consciousness right into your heart space and to let that be held there. And she places the same white rose at the back heart space, reminding you that Spirit has your back and holding your back. And she takes her hands and sweeps her compassion, her divine mother love in this white, graceful rose essence through your field. Thank you, Mother Mary. And Mary Magdalene comes forth with another gift. It's a blessing like just a beautiful processional. And she offers you the gift of your own chalice, the chalice of your holy self, a holy sepulcher. And that is placed right in your solar plexus, a golden chalice, reminding you that you hold your own truth. Nobody else but you hold your own divinity. And she swirls this deep red light around you to emblazon your field with her Christ consciousness love and the truth that you are an immortal being, eternal and holy. And then she moves to the side as the next blessed ascended master, Isis, the goddess Isis, comes forward in her amazing, beautiful, immaculate Egyptian essence with a golden ankh, the symbol of eternal life. And she places that kind of like a necklace or a pendant right at the throat. Remember who you are and that you are an eternal blessed being, blessed by the Divine Mother. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Isis. And she steps to the side as they all circle around you. And then next is Freya, the Norse goddess Freya, often accompanied by two amazing cats. And Freya is often pictured on a chariot. And she invites you to imagine yourself in this holiness in your own chariot that's moving through space and time. And she gives you the reins. Remember that you hold the reins to your chariot. Where do you want that chariot to take you? She says. You're the driver. You're the beloved. And she invites you to see in front of you the path of your being. It's the future accompanied by all the experiences you've had. And she asks you, where do you want this chariot to take you? And with that, beloveds, we ask that the Divine Feminine ground you in this sacred space, in your own chalice, in your container, in your heart, and that you know and feel and trust this love that carries us all through space and time. And until next time, I send the deepest soul gratitude from my heart to all of yours and to the beloved that holds us. Remember your truth, remember your identity, and remain in your connection with Mother Gaia as long as you like. Thank you so much for joining me on Soul Activation Podcast. I'm Suzanne Alexandria. If you crave more of this in your life, reach out to me at SuzanneAlexandria.com, and we can talk about my soul activation work through Wings of Isis Soul Academy, through Reiki, and through my other programs. Until next time, I wish you blessings, and I'll see you here every second and fourth Monday on Transformation Talk Radio. To me, this path of healing and enlightenment is this immaculate process of finding all the parts of us that have been lost and hidden and even taken, and then very masterfully and lovingly recombining ourselves, coming into our true self. And then all of a sudden realizing, oh my gosh, I'm home. Thank you for listening to Soul Activation Podcast. For more information about me, visit SuzanneAlexandria.com. Tune in every second and fourth Monday, 2 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern at TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Views expressed on this program are those of the host, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the views of the station, its management, or advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.